Yo, yo, yo. Surprise episode. Not saying I'm back, but this is Living for a Living with your boy Joey Bradley.
Living for a living, baby. How you doing?
This is, dude, I got nothing scripted. This is literally going to be like talking on the phone to the friend that you haven't talked to in, when was the last podcast? I did one after 2 months in Brazil, so like 6 months ago. So this is going to be like one of those phone calls that is a frantic idea here, idea there, bits and pieces of stories on top of stories. Probably won't make any fucking sense, or it'll be the best podcast I've ever done. I don't know why I didn't plan on doing this today. I just had a little spurt of the moment wanting to do it. So here we are. And also I'm leaving Brazil pretty soon this week. So I kind of wanted to do one last one while I was here to kind of bring all of my thoughts together while I'm still in South America, still below the equator. But yeah, shit. Well, I guess if you like this podcast and like me and are listening 6 months later, then you like the rambling. But yeah, like I said, I've been smoking pretty heavy last couple months. Well, we haven't played a game now in 2 months, about 7 weeks. Yeah, my season ended out here. Man, we had a good season. It was interesting. I guess we'll start at football since that's what we start with. Shout out to Martin, always asking for the pod, and I'm always saying no. Yeah, football. This year was interesting. It was a test for me. But I also, that's kind of what I signed up for, and that's what I wanted. So I never got to really feel sorry for myself, and I kept it pretty positive despite some things kind of not going exactly the way they maybe should be or how we hope they should be, or, whatever it may be. But in summary, we finished 3-3. We made the playoffs, but in true Brazilian fashion, we had to forfeit our playoff game because it was going to be in a city like 25-hour bus ride away. So not only would we have to ride a bus 50 hours in total to play the game, it would have ended up costing the team to rent that bus for that distance like $5,000 US. And $5,000 US is a lot of fucking money out here. So we weren't just ready to spend that as an organization. So we forfeited. I ended up fucking up my ankle in the last regular season game. So it was probably a blessing in disguise for us because I guess I would have played, but I would not have been very effective. I'm finally just walking, like I still have pain, but I'm finally just walking pretty normally now, and I don't have to really think about, don't step like that now, 7 weeks later. I didn't break anything, didn't tear anything, but I literally sprained every possible thing you could sprain in your ankle to the point where the doctor even was like, I don't know how you fucking did that. Although actually I might have had a dislocated bone in the top of my foot. That was one of what the physios said. Kind of a weird thing. Like the physical therapy out here is like pretty high level, pretty advanced, but like the structure of everything is just so unadvanced. I don't know. Anyway, so that's how the season ended. Our 3 losses were two were to the other team in our city that ended up, they lost in the championship this weekend. Good team. We should have had them the last game, shoulda, woulda, coulda, but they definitely know it. We definitely know it. And then our other loss was to the team that's won the championship the last like 10 years. And this was the first year they hadn't won the championship. So, at least we lost to the good teams and we beat the teams we should beat. So in that regard, it kind of went how it should go. Sure was a battle with injuries and attendance and having players and travel and this and just the uncertainty. wore me down from that side of things, you could say, where I don't know if it's in direct regard with how this season went or whatever, but at this point I'm at like a crossroads of what do I want to do? Do I want to keep playing? Do I want to keep coaching? Do I want to keep playing and coaching? I enjoy where I'm at currently in life, like where I'm living and all that stuff. This year was kind of one of those growing years for myself because, as you guys know, football is pretty much my life. I do this type of shit, talk to the camera, hold a camera, do stuff on the computer as a hobby. But mainly my life revolves around football and has for the last forever. And so I don't know if it's just like kind of that like ebb and flow of a career, or if maybe I'm just not having as much fun playing and, because of how the situation went this year. But also, to be honest, I didn't have a ton of fun playing my last year in Finland, and we were 14-0 and won the championship, and organizationally everything was like pretty intact when you compare it to how the organization was here. And that's like not a knock at all to the organization here. Baheto, our president, is my main homie, and he knows it's not a knock on him. It's just the reality. So we had one motherfucker doing everything organizationally in the same way that I was the one motherfucker doing everything offensively, coaching-wise. And hey, I do have to say, for the amount of people that we had invested in this team, like from one from a playing standpoint of like, we showed up, I think, to one game with like 25 guys, or, we'd have on average probably a solid 20 dudes at practice. And we had me, who was quarterback, OC, running back, receiver, O-line coach, kickoff return coach. And then we had our D coordinator, who was also an emergency D end, who would play any position in practice who was also our head coach, but would play any position in practice if like we needed an extra position on defense. And then he did kickoff and the rest of the teams. And then one defensive captain, Gabriel, who was hurt for like half the year, who also kind of helped with the coaching side of things, but him being hurt half the year. And then organizationally, pretty much like one dude in charge of everything. And, getting refs to games, getting ambulances to games, getting the field painted, getting this. There's a lot of shit that goes into playing some amateur football in a foreign country. So, with all that said, this season was an incredible success because I don't think, and now I'm just going to pat myself on the back and our team on the back, if you had the same situation with different people, I don't know if it would have gone as successfully or even gone at all. So, in that regard, I'm proud. I'm also super fucking proud of my guys and how they grew throughout the year, how they competed, how they learned. The offense last year, I don't know if I said this in the last podcast, but the offense last year was literally the plays were run left, run right, or pass. And I think they had two concepts, that were mirrored. They had one formation, two formations. And this year we're calling the Mike at the line of scrimmage, running option routes, motions, formations, you name it. And guys really, really stepped up, and like I can confidently say like these dudes know football now and can like carry that on, hopefully. And then in the last game, it was such a fucking bittersweet ending because as a quarterback, I played a pretty damn perfect game up until maybe the last, except for two plays. We had it like first and goal, I think first and goal and like the 2, up 3 with like 5 minutes to go. and I called this fucking pseudo speed option play and ran it completely different. Tried to do too much. That's the play I got hurt on. We fumbled. So that play I fucked up, and then another interception I had on the next drive to kind of win the game at the end of the game. Also, we kind of ran some wrong routes, wrong releases, but also didn't block very well, but also threw a pick there. But if you take those two plays away, like, and big ifs, if ifs for spliffs, we'd all be high. But if you took those plays away, I played probably one of my best games as a quarterback in recent memory of having to, like, throw the ball a ton. I think I was 30 for 40 or something for 304 ran for a touchdown. So anyway, except for those two plays, had a great game. OC-wise, as the coach, except for those two plays, and even the interception I think was a good call. I just throw it. I don't throw it well. Our left tackle, who was dominating all fucking day, gets beat. And so I got a guy in my face, so I can't get my full throw into it. And a receiver runs the wrong release, wrong track. And so a defender who intercepted it was right in the way where normally he should be in another spot. So a lot of ifs and wouldas and couldas. But again, you take away those two plays, those two calls, I think it's one of my best games ever. But those two plays are some of my two worst fucking plays and calls of my career or in my recent, memory. And so then we ultimately lost. And so the beauty, the thing I love about being QB and OC is, and I always say this is the reason I love it, but it's normally, I've never had to actually own up to it. Because I normally say the reason I love being QB OC is because I don't have anyone to blame. If you're only the OC, you can say, I called it, but fucking quarterback didn't read it right. And the quarterback, if you're only quarterback, can say, the coach called some shitty stuff. When you're both, I can say I called some shitty stuff and I played some shitty, but it's still me at the end of the day. And so, like I said, it was really fucking bittersweet because it had the potential. It was online to being like an amazing end of the season, end of the year, fucking comeback, beat a team that's probably better than us. And I was the reason we didn't, both as the QB and the fucking coach. But on the flip side, another reason it's bittersweet is like the rest of the team, when I watched back the film and even on the game day itself, played their fucking asses off, bro. Battled, competed, never gave up. And so like from that, I was just so proud as like the coach and like how my guys really fought. So, it was one of those games where, it's going to eat at me for a while because I'll still just be sitting around randomly and think like, damn, on the last play of the game, I should have called that. Or I should have called this. Because even after I threw the interception, the guy got it down on like the 1 or the 2. We were on like the 10 going in. After that interception, it was, I don't know, a minute left, but we had 2 or 3 timeouts. We stopped them. They had to punt from their end zone. They shanked the punt to like our 10 again. So we had 3 chances within the 10-yard line within the last 5 minutes of the game to put the game out of reach to win the game. And on that very, very, very last drive, we dropped a back shoulder that would have been the game winner. And then my call on the last play of the game was a bad call. I tried to get too tricky. I should have just let my receivers, my athletes win because we were better. But I tried to get a little too tricky after the drop. I think it got in my head, I got to do something special. We got to be wide open, and it didn't work. And so, like, that game, that last call will fucking eat away at me sometimes. Like, just be sitting here and just, thoughts pop into your dome. And, hey, Menina, I'm doing a podcast right now. All right, you got to shut up. That's my cat. He's very talkative. I'll go into the cat story next, or he'll go into it. I don't know if he'll jump up here. He's not a big fan of the couch. But anyway, I was talking about the game. It's one of those last calls where, like, I'm just sitting around randomly, and I'll be like, fuck, I should have called that, or I should have done that. And, like, I get this little, like, boost of adrenaline when I do that, because it's like, oh, fuck. Like, and so I know, you know, like, that part of me knows, like, I still really care and fucking like football and want to be a part of it. Just maybe some of the logistics and that kind of things is where I'm at the crossroads, where I'm thinking and how I want to do it. What's wrong? Oh, we got the curtains closed. That's something different. He doesn't like that. Menino, come here. Come here. Say hi. Say hi. Oh, good boy. Anything else? No? You got anything more to say? Anything else? All right, that's all he's got. But yeah, that's how the season ended up. I think that's good, right? So I've been enjoying but to continue on that thought avenue, this year, despite it being difficult with some of the on-field stuff and some of the off-field stuff, you know, just as I explained, the logistics of things makes it difficult here. Organization of things in Brazil overall makes life a little bit more interesting at times. But despite, and I have a tendency, as I started this whole thing, that football's kind of my life. So now, this is not a scratching post. I know I need to buy you one. I have a tendency to make football my life. So if football's not going good, then my life's not going good. You feel me? But this year has been like a nice learning experience, because I truly enjoyed my life off the field, you know, and to the point where, man, I have to admit, like, even before the last game, I remember thinking, like, damn, bro, I don't even really want to go to this game. Like, I'm ready for this shit to be over. That's how I was feeling. I was kind of also feeling that at the end of the last season in Finland, too. So, again, I don't want to make it all seem like it's something completely brand new. This has been brewing for a little while. And so this year, rambling on, like, taught me to, like, enjoy what I enjoy. Control what you can control, but enjoy your life despite what you can control. And that's been nice, you know, because I've thought throughout my life that I want to be a OC or maybe even a head coach in the NFL one day, and that's an idea for me of a possibility. But man, as amazing and as much as I love football and all that stuff, it's the fucking best game in the world, hands down, all that stuff. Bro, the amount of time that you have to spend coaching is so much. And like imagining having a family or just doing other shit, like the amount of time that you don't get to spend doing that, I'm starting to come to a crossroads of like, is that worth it? You feel me? Because one of the things now, even though I'm in this crossroads, one thing I do know that I want to do and return to, especially that the world's getting back to fucking normal, is start to travel again, you know, and travel around Brazil, because dude, Brazil is its own continent in itself. But then also get back to Asia. I want to eventually get over to Africa. You know, I've grown to really, really enjoy Brazil now that I've kind of, I think when I got here, I mean, man, I wasn't smoking any weed when I got here, so I was like super high strung in that regard. And if I don't smoke weed, then I go like super Virgo, anal, organized, like strict mode. And that's like not a good way to be when you're first moving to Brazil, especially coming from your last culture being Finland. Just like the drasticness of myself and then also the culture around me. Like I think I was in a weird vibe with a lot of things. And so now that I kind of got the flow of things, like I really like it. And now that I've kind of figured out the game, because bro, that's all. This life is a fucking game. It's a video game, and you gotta you don't have a choice whether to play it or not. And every country or every whatever might be a little different version of Grand Theft Auto or whatever game you want to play. Red Dead Redemption, Elden's Ring, Star Fox, Star Quest, what the Dungeons and Dragons, Pokemon. It's all a video game. You feel me? Japan's probably Pokemon. Brazil is like definitely more Grand Theft Auto. But I have always grown up liking Grand Theft Auto, so I'm a fan of it here. But once you don't have a choice whether you're going to play a game or not. You can choose kind of where you're playing the game. So in a way, what game it is. But the fact is, bro, you got to play a game here. Like, meaning you have to live. You can go game over on them. But for the most of it, you got to play. So you might as well learn the fucking rules. First, learn the rules. Then learn the tricks. And then learn the cheats. That's what you do anytime back in the day, video game, open up the manual, or you went online, Game Shark. Oh, yeah, you went Game Shark, you got the cheats. Try and get unlimited ammo, limited guns, whatever it may be. And, bro, the real life works that exact same way. There are rules, there are laws, there are things, but there's some laws you don't have to fucking follow. Or, I mean, you don't have to follow them if you in turn then deem that the consequence is worth the risk of the consequence is worth the fruit of the labor. Shout out Nick. That's kind of a how I found freedom in an unfree world idea right there. Which also, I haven't finished it yet, and I've been wanting to recommend this book so fucking bad, but I haven't finished it yet. I think I have like 30 pages left. Where is it? Let me grab it real quick. Hold on. All right. Yeah, so I got... I don't know where. I'm on the last chapter. 285. Yeah. 30 pages. The book. The Road Less Traveled. My man Nick. Mr. Bold. Trust me on that one. Right up your fucking alley. Big time. And also I think it would be beneficial for anyone and fucking everyone. It's written by a psychologist type of dude. It's older book, 1979. Trust me on this one, man. From the ideas of parenting and relationships, and then just like being cool with yourself, but also understanding others. I don't know. Just like it's a new psychology of love, traditional values, and spiritual growth. Is fucking good, man. And so anyway, if you're gonna play if you're gonna play the game, learn the rules, learn the shit, learn everything. And so I was here in Brazil playing Grand Theft Auto. Meanwhile, I was still running Finland culture programming. I was still playing The Sims. For real. Oh, that's such a good fucking comparison. Yeah, Brazil is Grand Theft Auto, and Finland is The Sims. And so I was literally, imagine the Sims character coming into fucking Grand Theft Auto. I'm talking like that. And I was talking funny when I first got here too. And so now after time, I've learned the tricks. I've learned the language a little bit more, definitely a lot more. Yeah, so it's just been it's been cool. It's been a great learning experience. I've been pretty fucking lazy overall in terms of like kind of just smoking weed and chilling. But I think that's necessary at times. And also with I had the foot hurt. The neck's been hurt. I'm giving myself excuses right now, but there's also reasoning behind it too. And I plan on going when I get home for these next few months. Plan on just working, going hard, making some bread, so that way I can come back here and chill out some more. And also then get an online business going set up, so that way I can make money while I'm chilling. Yada da mean. But okay. Let's talk about the cat. Because he's fucking awesome. Let's see if he wants to join for this. No, he doesn't like it when I smoke. Anyway, we found a cat. His name is Menino, which means boy in Portuguese. I'm very uncreative when it comes to naming animals, but normally just cats. My cat back home that we found in the dumpster like 10 years ago, his name is Baby because I called him Baby Boy. So here, I didn't call him Baby Boy, I just called him Boy. So that's how he got his name. We found him, or he found us, actually. I'm also seeing a girl right now, too, so that's the we part of this. And I'm actually in her apartment right now. And so we came back one night. She's awesome, by the way. We came back one night, and she lives in this condominium complex, pretty much in a favela. So I'm hood rich, bruh. Can't tell me nothing. Joking. So we came back one night, and this motherfucker was just at the doors of the elevator, and there's maybe 4 or 5 cats that live in the condominiums, maybe, or kind of somebody leaves food out for it, but it's just kind of known those are the condo cats. And he was new. We'd never seen him before. He was definitely not a street cat. You know, the street cats, their fur is a little matted, you know. Just imagine a fucking homeless person and make it into a cat. Still some cool people. Still some cool cats. Just, you want to wash your hands after you shake their hands. You know what I mean? That's fucked up, but kind of true. So anyway, it was obvious this fucker was not homeless. Somebody probably had just moved and dumped him. Maybe he ran away. I'm kind of starting to think because this motherfucker meows so much, he talks so much, that I'm kind of starting to think that his past owner was almost annoyed of him and got rid of him. Or they moved, I don't know. But anyway, we turned the corner, and he looks exactly like my cat from back home, so I immediately have an affinity for him. And he looks right up and help me, motherfucker. And was just super sweet. And then we're like, all right, come on, follow us. And he started to follow, and he wanted to. And then he wouldn't. He got to the top of the stairs, ran back away. We're like, all right, maybe we'll try again tomorrow. And then we get to our door, and we just, the top of the stairwell closes, or the elevator, closes. Oh, well, she lives on the first floor, so I think we used the elevator and the stairs that night. Confusing story, unimportant part of the story, sorry. And we get to our door, and we just hear, don't leave me. Please don't leave me. So she went back downstairs, grabbed him, and he's lived with us ever since. So it's been 2 months now, and it's nice. She goes to work during the days, most days, and as I've mentioned before, I've been big chilling. So he's provided me some company, and he's really fucking cool, to be honest. He's smart and has some shit. He's very human-like. So that's been really cool. And honestly, that's probably another reason I like it here a lot. Having an animal around is nice, especially a cat. I got into the reading of cats and being protectors of energy and stuff like that. And I don't know if it's exactly true, but The Egyptians used to keep cats around a ton, people said, because they warded off evil spirits. But a lot of people like equated sickness to evil spirits back then, and the cats would catch rats, which carried sickness. So like, in so facto, they were killing evil spirits, but the evil spirits were just disease. So, but in the same way, whatever you think, you're right. So there's also I read something about like the noise of the purr of the cat is at like a certain hertz, certain frequency that's like super calming for us as humans. And I could believe that, because there is something sweet about a cat sitting next to you, sitting on you, purring it up. You know what I'm saying? There is something nice about that. So, yeah, I guess other side of things, I mentioned a girl. It's weird. She doesn't really speak English. So actually, I can say whatever the fuck I want right now. Or I could not say I have a girlfriend. No. But yeah, she doesn't really speak English that much. So it's been crazy. Like, even at certain points of this podcast, I want to go into speaking Portuguese, just because that's more habit for me right now. And man, you won't read this in any book. You won't hear this from any language influencer on the internet. But if you really want to learn a language and get good at it fast, get a significant other who doesn't speak your original language, and then also spend all day, every day, being high, because it's like using a weighted bat in baseball. Because like, your brain doesn't want to function. You feel me? First of all, let me start with the significant other in that doesn't speak your original language. If you do that, you're forced to speak when you don't want to. Which is like, for me, it's more difficult to speak my second language in the morning and at night. Like when I'm first starting up the computer, when I'm starting to shut it down, we want to run simple programming. So that's the first reason that it's good. Second reason, weed and being high and having to speak is like a weighted bat, because like I said, the reason it's good with the significant other is you have to speak when you don't want to. Well, when I'm high, I do not want to speak ever in my second language, because it's a lot of work, bro, to think about that shit. And so over time, like in the beginning, I'm slow as fuck. I'm still slow as fuck, but super slow. But then over time, like the weighted bat, your mind gets used to it, speaking while high and having to think while high. That then, bro, now when I'm sober, I feel like I'm taking the limitless pill. Speaking Portuguese. Brrr. All my words are connecting, boy. So I know maybe that's not like in the options for everyone to learn a language, but fuck private classes. That's the way to do it. Although actually taking private classes first would be my initial recommendation. Getting a level of competency so that with the significant other and while you're stoned, you can like actually say shit. And so yeah, the girl's cool. Her family's cool. I don't really want to talk too much about that. Like, part of the reason too I haven't done the podcast vlog, like, part of me, bro, like, doesn't want you motherfuckers to know what I'm doing. Like, as I'm getting older, and now I know I'm getting older, because I'm like, fucking, I like my privacy. Government doesn't need to be meddling in my business. You feel me? Like, I don't need everything to be out there. Like, as much as I love you guys and appreciate you guys and the support and everything, like, I don't want you to know everything, and there's at the same time, I enjoy being forthcoming and honest and explaining real shit and uncomfortable shit, because I think that's also needed. But there's this like balancing act, and I guess fuck, bro, I'm in like the limbo of everything that I do right now. Because with like podcast, vlog, like I'm taking my camera everywhere now, but I just don't know. I know I like doing this type of shit, whether it's podcasting, creating content, vlog, whatever it may be. I know I like it, but I don't know what avenue I want to do it in, because as crazy as it sounds, my whole life, like whatever I put my mind to doing, I do. No matter how crazy it is. Like once I really get something up here in my dome, like, yo, it gets done. And like, I know how our minds are so much fucking more powerful than we're led to believe. And like, I know that like my shit can make shit happen. The problem is right now, I just don't know what I want to make happen. And so I also know my power of it. And so it's like, I don't want to use this power just to like, for the fuck of it. And so with the content, with this and that, I've told a lot of people recently, well, not a lot of people, a couple people that I talked to, that like, I don't want to be famous. I don't think I want to be famous. And I know that's like a crazy sentence to say, but after the time in Finland, and I know to anybody who wasn't in Finland at this time, like, this sounds crazy, but I was famous in Finland. And all my homies in Finland can vouch for me on that. Like, when I went out to the bar, when I went out in public, like, I got looks, I got eyes. I didn't get asked to take pictures until people were drunk, but, like, that should happen. And, bro, that was not good for me. Not good for my mental health. Like, I've stopped watching most podcasts, most everything. I watch some stand-up comedians still, but more like new type people, because, bro, I can like sense, and maybe it's just my own internal thing, it probably is, but I feel like I can sense this thing amongst podcasters, comedian, like kind of well-known people, like people that have made it. I can sense this, like, I don't even really want to do this. Like, I'm just doing this because I have to, like, it's status quo. Like, I got to do this podcast. Like, I love Theo Von. Theo Von's one of my favorite podcasts in the world. It's hard for me to watch an episode because all I can see in him now, and like, he kind of admits it himself, like, struggles with some depression type of experiences and that kind of, but like, except the one with Tucker Carlson, I haven't finished one of his in I don't know how long. And I used to like, but on the flip side, I'll go back and watch his old episodes. Cause like, bro, he hadn't made it yet in the old episode. And like, bro, he was like happy, low key. And now I don't see that. I don't sense that. And so like, in the same way, my entire life, I've never wanted to be rich, because growing up, my brother was like the richest person I knew. And growing up, like, he was probably the most miserable dude I'd seen. And so I always kind of equated money with unhappiness, because that was my only experience of it, of like that type of money. And so like, I never wanted that. Now he married a different woman, and he's a very happy dude. So after seeing that, experiencing that from afar, I've realized that might be more so about who you choose rather than the bread you got in your pocket for the happiness. You feel me? And so I've been working to change this idea on my thought towards money, because it's ironic in that regard. Like, I always kind of felt like at some point I will have a lot of money. I've never been too concerned with making a lot of money because of that idea. Also because I've kind of always thought I would die young, as dark as that sentence is. But I've always thought like I'm like getting to the point now, and maybe this is also my like little purgatory limbo thing, because like my entire life it's been hard for me to imagine living too much past where I'm at now, and I don't have like a good reason for that. Probably my own little internal shit, you feel me? But like, I'm like starting to get to the age where like I could never imagine myself being that age. And so like a lot of the shit I was like, well, fuck it, bro. It doesn't really matter. Like I'm going to die soon, you know? But now I'm starting to like low-key think a little bit longer term. You know, like I can maybe imagine myself being 40 now. Whereas before, like I never could imagine that. And so maybe that's also like this limbo of like some change in thought and things like that. But so I ramble on that to say like I kind of have that same issue of thought with content, with the podcast at least, and vlogging as well. Any fame, any YouTube, any like I just don't get the impression from a Mr. Beast or a I know I'm picking the most big examples. Like even like Nelk boys, like who I love, like I see that they're having fun doing stuff sometimes, but like they're also just doing it to do it. And whether the pot, like I just don't see those people as happy people, you know. And so we just naturally emulate what we see and what we've experienced. And so in the same regard of how I felt about money, I guess I need to maybe find a new guy to maybe, oh, oi, you're home early. Oh, agora too embarrassed. Well, she just got home, so I'm going to finish up now. But where was I at? Finish that thought. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Change the thought towards content creation and finding someone that appears to be having a good time. Like a Casey Neistat. Like literally all the people that made it the biggest. And like the way I do shit normally, if I'm going to do it, I want to be the best. And so all these people that I like, none of them exude happiness at that point. You feel me? And so like in the same way with football, with content, like I'm trying to figure out my way of doing it. And that's kind of where some of the stagnation has been. Again, I'm not explaining this to you as much as I'm probably just explaining it to myself. I haven't been coming to therapy recently as I haven't been doing this podcast. And actually this book talks a lot about therapy and how beneficial it is and all those things. And I always joke, well, I don't really need to do therapy because I do the podcast. So that's actually probably a good stopping point anyway. So that's a pretty good update too. I think so. So until next time, or not, appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Peace and much love. Holla.
Tell me, baby.
Yeah.
What's that story? Cause I've been thinking about you lately.
Yeah, come on.
Tell me, darling. What else? You're a star girl.
This is Menino. We're here.
Do not know the deal. I've been thinking about
Nothing.
you lately.
For once,
Got
it's quiet.
me going crazy.
What else?
Playing for you, baby. Listen up, listen up. Got me thinking about you, baby. And it's happening all the time. So I'm playing for you, darling. Now listen up, listen up.
Listen up.